울창한 숲길을 따라 피첸 마을에서 차로 30여 분을 더 달렸을까요? 인적을 찾아보기 어려울 듯 했는데 뜻밖의 이곳에 작은 농장이 있습니다.
Hey guys. Hi. How are you?
Great. How are you?
Good. Must be Heidi.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Hi, Evan. How are you?
Nice to meet you.
Must be, right?
Yep.
Good. Thank you very much for letting us to be here.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Great.
Tell me
glad
about where
you're
you
here.
are. You know, the area is so beautiful. Like, on the way, like we come, like you just surrounded by forest around here.
Yes. Yeah, we live in the middle of the forest, and that's how we like it.
Yeah.
Middle of the forest.
Yeah.
All right.
마음에 드는 농장 부지를 찾는데 무려 2년이 걸렸습니다. 돈이 충분하지 않았고 나무로 집을 지을 수 있는 숲을 갖춘 땅을 원했기 때문입니다.
Built that and raised it in 2006. My son was born there.
So your son was born in there?
He was, yeah.
Yep. And it's just a little 12-foot by 16-foot cabin, so it's a very small cabin, and we had a loft in there, so it was a small place to live, but we loved it, and we still do.
부부는 목재를 직접 골랐는데요. 건축에 대해 전혀 몰랐지만 책을 보거나 주변에 물어가며 결코 서두르지 않았습니다.
We both cut the timber frame for it together and built it together.
Yeah.
It was our first big building we built together.
Quite big.
Yeah. Well, the first building we built together was that little shed
Yeah,
over
which
there.
was-
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was the first structure.
That was the thing that
Yeah.
you built up too?
It's a tool shed.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's just a garden shed. And then this building right here behind us is our summer kitchen, so that's where we did all of our canning.
세월이 지나면서 작은 오두막을 조금씩 확장해 지금의 집이 되었습니다. 농장 운영을 위한 건물도 지었죠.
So these were the first gardens we ever made. We're at Small Axe Farm. We also have pear trees and plum trees as well.
We'll make jam every year and make plum jam, and then we grow strawberries, and we do strawberry rhubarb jam every year, and so we like to fill our jelly cabinet with those.
남쪽을 바라보는 언덕 위. 이 숲에서 가장 비옥한 토양에 농장이 있습니다. 대지의 규모는 5,000평 정도지만 그중 1,200여 평만 농사를 짓습니다. 숲을 망가뜨리고 싶지 않기 때문인데요. 유기농으로 농사를 짓고 자연이 균형을 잃지 않도록 합니다. 처음엔 에반과 하이디가 좋아하는 채소들을 키웠습니다.
So we have a lot of diversity here. So everything from baby bok choy to French breakfast radish, Hokkaido salad, turnips to scallions. We do broccolini, we do kale, we do chard, we do a ton of different crops.
하지만 사람들이 원하는 팔릴 만한 것들을 조사하고 가능한 모든 것들을 재배하기 시작하면서 농장 운영에 필요한 돈을 벌 수 있었습니다. 작은 농장으로 먹고 사는 부부가 선택한 전략이기도 하죠.
Sometimes you'll just get hit with a pest or or a bad weather event or drought, and different crops respond differently to all of those factors. And if we lose this much broccolini, well, we've got more coming along. So keeping things small, farming small, successive crops, it makes so much sense for us financially. We're nice and diverse. We could lose this whole thing to a hailstorm tomorrow and we would be fine. We have so much more coming along. We would replant, and in 3 to 4 weeks we would have just as much food on the property.
버몬트 숲의 날씨는 변덕스럽습니다.
It's raining out. We haven't had a rainy harvest day yet, but alas.
But still, like you continue to, harvest.
Oh, even if it's pouring. On harvest, that's the only day if it's raining and it's not harvest day, we always find work to do inside the greenhouses. But if it's harvest day, there's just no getting around it.
부부는 작은 농장 어디서든 매일매일 쉬지 않고 일합니다.
I know, this is the footage we all want.
반려견 셀리도 유기농 채소를 좋아한답니다.
Here, Sally.
And how much did you say you had left? Yep, let's do. Baby kale. Okay, let me look at the board. Hang on.
농사를 짓는다는 것은 자연의 순리를 따라 함께 어우러져 살아가는 것이죠.
I like the flow of the seasons in farming, how predictable they are, but how I never cease to be surprised or just overjoyed every time, the first robin comes or the first phoebe birds are here chirping for that time of year. Everything on the farm, signifies like a ritual. It creates a wonderful rhythm to our lives that.
부부는 지난 16년간 계절을 온몸으로 받아들이며 살아왔습니다. 농장에서는 시기마다 해야만 하는 일이 있고 이제는 그것들을 깨닫고 수확을 누리는 것에 완벽히 적응했습니다. 이제 오늘의 일과가 끝났습니다. 작지만 어디서든 숲을 볼 수 있는 아늑한 집으로 돌아왔습니다. 집을 짓는 데 쓰인 목재는 전부 근처의 숲이나 폐가에 버려진 것을 주워온 것입니다. 나무의 자연스러운 형태를 그대로 살려 만들었는데요. 어떻게 자란 나무였는지 모두 기억하고 있습니다.
Was where we lived for 4 years before we had electricity or running water. Our son was born in this room, and we've since added on, so we've got a bigger house now. But this is still our favorite place in the house.
일부러 문명과 떨어진 삶을 선택한 것이 아니라 부부는 현실적으로 예산이 넉넉하지 못했습니다. 집을 짓고 땅을 사기 위해 힘들게 돈을 모아야 했습니다. 그렇게 지금까지 버텨온 것이죠. 집기들도 대부분 새 것이 아닙니다. 이것들은 옛날 에반의 아버지가 얻어왔고 나무를 떼는 방식의 스토브를 오랫동안 사용했습니다.
Haven't looked in a minute. Yeah, so this is a wood cook stove. You can only fit like a small round pan is basically what we fit in here. We got this free from a neighbor, somebody in our community that was getting rid of it. Prior to us getting hot water last year, we would heat all of our hot water for bathing on this. And so I would heat everything here, and then I would carry it in. We had a tub, and I would carry it into the bathroom, these big heavy pots of water, and pour it in, and then we would add cold water, and then we would have a tub. He grew up a little bit more in this fashion than I did. I grew up in suburbia, and he really grew up on a homestead. Coming out here, as much as I wanted it, I think the hardest part for me would be we would work so physically hard. Everything was hard. Everything you tried to do was hard. First little 80-watt solar panel, and we could turn on just a few lights. The time that I turned on music for the first time in 4 years and could hear music flowing throughout the cabin because we had enough power to do that. And I don't think I really realized that I hadn't listened to music like that in 4 years. And I turned it on, and I was just in tears because you don't realize how much you need that in your life and how incredible that is.
Last year, we got running hot water in our house for the first time.
In 16 years, we had no hot water until last year. And so, yeah, everyone is appreciating the shower and the...
And this year, we built a shower in our house, and that's the first time we've had a shower in 16 years. We would use a bathtub before that.
We don't have a mortgage. You know, we're free from that. We also didn't have hot water for 16 years, and that's why we didn't have a mortgage, but we wanted those options so that we could make choices.
부부에게 가장 큰 변화는 아이가 생긴 것이었습니다.
We had a couch here. It was amazing. I just sort of says, Evan, I think it's happening. So we came back in, I think that was 3:30 in the afternoon. I labored overnight, just keeping track. I called my midwives, and I was just here.
And I was just boiling water all day, just like in the movies.
Just to keep it warm, but it
the
was
whole day,
incredible.
Just boiling water, dumping, yeah.
이 집에서 아들은 하루가 다르게 성장했습니다. 에반과 하이디는 좀 더 큰 공간이 필요하다고 판단했습니다. 그래서 작은 오두막은 부엌으로 남겨두고 옆에 세로 건물을 올려 거실과 침실을 만들었습니다. 드디어 이곳에도 화장실이 생겼습니다. 물 없는 변기를 갖추고 있는데요. 대신 톱밥을 사용해 퇴비를 만듭니다. 벽에 바른 점토와 속을 채운 볏짚과 모래 역시 숲에서 얻은 것입니다. 부부는 버몬트의 추운 겨울을 나기 위해 아주 특별한 방법을 찾았습니다. 바로 한국의 온돌과 같은 구조를 택한 것이죠.
When we poured the foundation for it, we put radiant we put tubes for water in the floor so that we can now heat this house with radiant heating. So we just run hot water through the floor, which definitely it wasn't super common in this country when we did it, but we knew people who had done it, and it seemed to make a lot of sense to us as a smart way to heat your house.
집을 짓는 계획을 세우는 데만 2년 정도 걸렸습니다. 인부를 따로 쓰진 않았지만 무려 40명이나 되는 친구들이 에반과 하이디를 도왔습니다. 대형 중장비 없이 집을 짓고 싶었고 모든 사람들이 함께 연구하고 즐기면서 그것을 해냈습니다. 이 집은 그런 시간의 기억을 모두 담고 있는 공간입니다.
There's basically like skateboard, yes. Yeah, skateboard accident, yeah. Kind of
I saw one crack up there too.
basketball. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah.
From your son.
Yeah, I remember coming down and being like, oh.
Yeah, one more hit and that's
Yeah.
gonna go.
Figured while they're young, we'll just leave it like that and stuff. But then we got the cats and they love to scratch on these.
기초를 세울 공간이 작아 이렇게 2층 집이 되었습니다. 침실을 만들 수 있었고 작년까지 아들과 함께 3명의 가족이 사용했습니다.
That's how we get exercise in the winter time. So lots of pull-ups, and we, as much as we work in the farm and we get strong, we really, as we get older, we need to do more and more strength training. So this is just a piece of that, and yeah, we both use them. And
Until last year, our son also lived here. This is Heidi's office now, but this was his bedroom up here.
we sort of sectioned it off just a little bit, but we were really sort of all in the same room, but he had a little bit of his own space over here until he moved downstairs.
1층에 있는 아들 허클의 방은 작년에 완성됐습니다. 바쁜 농장 일로 미뤄져 계획한 후 무려 10년이 걸렸습니다. 10대 청소년이 음악을 마음껏 들을 수 있도록 벽이 두꺼운 것이 특징이죠. 주말 아침 식사를 준비합니다. 식재료는 밭에서 얻기도 하지만 근처 농가나 가게에서 사오기도 합니다.
Sally!
바쁜 일상에서 건강한 음식을 큰 부담 없이 직접 만들어 먹는 것이 중요하다고 생각하죠.
Well, we're having a breakfast with the family and one of Huckel's friends. Yafta is here, so he's joining us for some pancakes, some home fries, some eggs. We just like to take our time on Sunday and just have a nice meal together.
부부는 이런 시간을 소중하게 생각합니다.
So once you get the, do another couple rounds.
Yeah, these are all of a sudden just.
We both cook.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it just depends, and it depends on the time of year. I cook more in the summertime, and Heidi cooks more in the wintertime.
I'm a better baker, he's a better cook. He's very, very good. The simple life.
드디어 식사 시간입니다.
I love those little basil plants on the windowsill.
I know. You know, sometimes.
Just hiking the park.
허클의 친구 요프타는 어린 시절부터 자주 함께 주말을 보낸 사이입니다.
Nice.
There you go. Stick them over there.
요프타의 가족 역시 근처 숲에서 살고 있죠.
I like a lot of food. I don't know. I eat everything that she makes, and it's all really good. So. Oh well, when I was younger, me and my dad built like a little kind of fort thing up in the woods up there, and I like that a lot. Like a little structure. Yeah, it's cool.
아들이 좋아하는 것은 또 있습니다. 엄마가 만든 각종 피클과 잼 같은 병조림입니다. 채소를 키우기 시작한 이후 거의 모든 수확물을 병조림으로 만들었습니다.
that we make every year, and we've been canning since we moved into the farm and started growing food, and we tend to do about 700 jars a year. We have a long winter, and you know, it really does cut into our grocery costs, which is great, and we get to continue to eat our food even when there's snow on the ground.
버몬트에서는 겨울이면 병조림을 만드는 것이 지역의 특성입니다. 신선한 채소가 나는 계절에는 요리할 시간이 부족한데 병조림을 만들면 1년 내내 맛있는 음식을 먹을 수 있습니다. 또한 작은 농부 가족의 짭짤한 수입원이기도 하죠.
So this is a strawberry rhubarb jam. Huckle has a rhubarb business here on the property, so he always harvests the rhubarb, and so that's his contribution to our jam. So Huckle started a rhubarb business when he was 4 years old here on the farm, and at the time he couldn't do all of the work himself, so he did about 25% of the work and he got about 25% of the income.
허클은 원하는 것을 얻기 위해 무엇을 해야 하는지, 얼마나 노력해야 하는지 자연스럽게 배우며 성장했습니다.
He's still doing it now, and he's 16. So, and he makes a decent amount of money from that every season. You know, between $500 and $700. And you know, when he was young, I remember he used his money. He bought a whitewater kayak, his first little whitewater kayak. It was his first little mountain bike when he first started. So he used that money to sort of, you know, buy things for himself and get outdoors, and that was.
숲에서의 삶의 방향은 명확합니다. 농장에서 열심히 일하고 휴일에는 자연을 적극적으로 즐깁니다. 카약도 그중 하나입니다. 허클은 요즘 산악자전거에 빠져 있습니다. 이 숲에서 할 수 있는 가장 좋아하는 스포츠죠. 친구가 더 좋은 10대 아들이 놀러 나가면 에반과 하이디도 준비를 합니다.
It depends. We've been on long sea kayaking trips in Alaska, and we paddled the southern coast of Newfoundland. So we've done some long trips, and we've done some day trips, but mostly when we go out, we usually go for a long trip. But Lake Willoughby is a pretty exceptional place to go, so we're excited. It's the perfect day for it. Winter, we do wild skating, and we cross-country ski, and we backcountry ski.
I love the winter time, and I love early in the morning. You know, like in the winter time when I do a lot of long distance ice skating, and oftentimes I'll get to the ice before the sun is up on a huge frozen wild lake, and then be skating as the sun comes up, and I love that feeling of like meeting the day.
겨울에는 꽁꽁한 호수를 따라 스케이트를 타며 긴 여행도 하는데요. 풍경에 빠져 캐나다 부근까지 간 적도 있습니다. 이렇게 겨울을 보내고 나면 여름에는 주로 캠핑과 등산을 하는데요. 오프로드 자전거를 타고 가족 여행을 갑니다. 농장을 떠나 40분 정도 달리면 아름다운 호수가 나옵니다. 겨울엔 스케이트를, 여름엔 카약을 타는 곳이죠.
This is a spray skirt, so that will go around the cockpit so no water can come in the boat. And especially when we're out in big waves, we don't really need them too much today, but out in big waves, they keep the boat from filling with water.
일과 여가 생활의 균형을 이루는 것, 그리고 단순하게 살자는 것이 숲에 살기로 결심한 에반과 하이디의 철학입니다.
There's a couple, about a month and a half in the summertime where we have to work longer hours. Once we hit like the second week in July through the first week in September, it's just really busy on the farm. And we also tend to leave for we'll do a wilderness trip in the summertime, usually in the beginning of July, and so that pushes our summer schedule a little bit. But we don't work really crazy hours, and we've purposefully designed our lives and our farm so that on a history book page, it was the end of a decade, but the start of an age.
허클과 요프타는 숲속의 스키장으로 갔습니다. 두 친구는 주말마다 5시간 넘게 이곳에서 산악 자전거를 탑니다.
I probably started when I was around like 4 or 5, and we've been skiing here ever since, pretty much.
And biking, we started around like 2016, so about 7 years ago, and we just started.
A long time ago, I'm not really sure. I used to go with my dad a lot to Kingdom Trails, which is a local trail system that has, a lot of great trails and stuff.
With your daddy?
Yeah.
산악 자전거는 아버지 에반에게 배웠습니다.
He grew up in the gardens and out in the woods while I was logging with the draft horses and all that. He just grew up around something that not a lot of kids get the opportunity to. So, and we were happy for that. We wanted him to have that experience.
에반과 하이디의 작은 농장에서는 전기가 필요한 대형 농기계를 사용하지 않습니다. 토양을 심하게 해치지 않아야 땅이 건강해지고 작물이 자연스럽게 자랄 수 있는 최상의 상태가 된다고 믿기 때문입니다. 이 농기구도 낯설지 않습니다. 어디서 봤죠?
This cedar is manufactured and was invented in Korea, and it's widely considered to be one of the best cedars on the planet. And so a lot of small farms like these, like ours, will use this exact cedar.
농장에서 가장 중요한 5줄짜리 씨앗 심는 한국산 기계입니다. 흔히 미국하면 끝이 보이지 않는 대평원에 거대한 트랙터로 농사짓는 모습을 떠올립니다. 그런데 한국의 농기구로 농사를 짓는 작은 농장을 미국에서 만나다니 신기하죠? 에반의 숲을 지키며 농사를 짓는 소박한 방식입니다. 작은 농부 가족이 또 지키려는 것이 있습니다. 바로 저 의자인데요. 여름 주방의 지붕 위에는 항상 빨간 의자가 놓여 있습니다.
Well, that was probably the hardest single moment. When you asked what was most challenging, that was just one moment. That was, and it's never left us really. But we had spent our farm building, our wash pack building, we had spent 5 years building that. And we're in process of expanding it. And we had just finished up the inside. But we woke up in the middle of the night to flames on the side of the building.
공들인 농장 건물과 함께 가장 가까운 사람을 잃었습니다. 가족 같았던 친구 켈시죠.
But anyways, she was someone we were very close to, and she died here on our farm in that fire. And that red chair on top of our summer kitchen, Kelsey made that chair, and she brought it here, and she put it up on the roof. When she was here, she put it up there, so we've always just kept it up there. And we see it every morning when we wake up in our bedroom. We look out through our window to that chair on top of the roof. And
부부는 켈시를 그들의 삶 속에 머물게 하기로 했습니다. 슬프지만 그녀를 잊으려고 노력하는 게 아니라 기억하려 애쓰고 있습니다. 부부는 사건 이후 절망을 딛고 농장 건물을 새로 지었습니다. 당시에도 역시 많은 친구들이 도움을 주었습니다. 가장 많은 시간을 보내는 공간. 농장에서 수확한 모든 채소가 이곳으로 옵니다.
This is Sally's favorite crop right here, is Japanese salad turnips. The chefs really like them as well. We try to clean them up and get them out on the shelves.
세척을 마친 채소는 포장 작업을 합니다. 이 과정을 위해 농장의 철학에 공감하는 직원들도 몇몇 채용했습니다. 라벨도 지역 예술가가 직접 디자인해 준 겁니다. 다양한 채소는 주로 샐러드용으로 판매됩니다. 온라인으로 주문해 정기 구독하는 고객도 있고 지역 유통업체나 식당에도 나갑니다.
Yep, we're doing deliveries, and this store sells a lot of local vegetables, bread, all different kinds of products. A lot of farms now do value-added products, so they'll have their canned salsas and tomato sauces and stuff they sell there as well.
에반은 배달 일을 좋아합니다. 아름다운 숲길을 운전할 수 있고 좋은 이웃들을 만나는 시간이죠. 코로나19가 심했을 때는 어르신들께 집까지 배달을 해줬습니다.
It may seem like we live in the middle of nowhere, but we know most of our neighbors who live within several miles of us. I think people who come from the city think that we're really isolated, but we're not, because we kind of, every road we drive down, we know people who live on it. We don't know everybody, but we know a lot of people, and oftentimes we've had strong relationships with them. We've helped each other out, done each other favors.
배달은 한 주에 2번 나옵니다. 가장 먼 곳이 농장에서 40km나 됩니다. 에반과 하이디는 일을 마친 후에는 집에서도 적극적으로 할 일을 찾습니다. 일이라고 할 수는 없겠네요. 하이디는 20년이 넘게 뜨개질을 취미로 하고 있습니다. 크리스마스나 명절이면 직접 만든 모자를 선물하는 것이 작은 기쁨이죠.
Okay, good. That's fun. The reason that every season that it's not every season that I change a hobby, but a lot of seasons I will try something new. I think because I'm curious and I just want to learn new things, and I always think there's something out there that I'm going to pick up and try, and I'm absolutely going to love it. And right now, I don't even realize that I would love it or be good at it because I haven't tried it. I haven't bumped up against it yet.
그림을 그리는 것은 취미이기도 했고요. 기타도 배우기 시작했습니다.
I don't know. I love all these things, and I think through practice and through the fact that you can create, they're creative, and it makes me feel productive, which I really like. I get that from the farm, but then I get that from my hobbies as well.
에반의 취미는 목공입니다. 그 중에서도 숟가락을 만드는 것을 가장 좋아합니다.
And then I try to find the shape of a spoon in the tree. You know, the spoon is already in there. It's just sitting in there. And with a power tool, you can kind of force a shape on the wood. But when you're carving, you're going to find out how the wood wants to move to get to the shape of a spoon. And that way, every spoon will be different.
에반은 어릴 때부터 숟가락을 조각했습니다. 점점 더 실력이 늘었고 그에 맞는 도구도 찾았습니다.
And so when I was traveling in the wilderness, I liked to have my hands busy, so I just started carving, and I've carved thousands of spoons probably at this point. I always gave them away, but then in our early years here, I carved spoons and sold them and to make money, and I would sell a couple $1,000s worth of spoons a year, which was a lot of money to us at that time when we didn't have much income. So yeah, that's how I got into it. But finishing that first spoon, it was the first really nice thing I'd ever made out of wood, and it gave me the confidence to know that I can build a house.
만약 정말 좋은 작은 물건 하나를 만들 수 있다면 큰 목재를 가져와 근사한 집도 지을 수 있다고 생각한 거죠.
But I love that. Yeah, I love this wood is black cherry, which grows in our forest. So it's got a red heartwood that will get really dark red in time, and then its sapwood is bright white.
농장에서 1시간 정도 떨어진 곳에 이곳 사람들이 좋아하는 아름다운 마을이 있습니다. 이 식당이 마을을 바꿨다는데요. 에반과 하이디가 농장을 시작했을 때 가장 많은 도움을 준 오랜 고객이기도 합니다.
Yeah, this is a great, kind of one of our favorite places to come when we just sort of finished a long harvest day, and it's a good time for us to sort of reconnect as a family when we're busy. We like to come here and support these folks. They've been great to us. We love this place.
가족은 삶에서 원하는 모든 것을 스스로 선택하고 만들어 왔습니다. 계속해서 변화하겠지만 자연 속에서 농사를 지으며 소박하게 살아가기를 원하는 마음은 결코 변치 않을 것이라고 생각합니다.
Yeah, I think we'll always have our hands in the dirt and be able to sort of, make a living off this at our own pace.
We will, and we hope to live here the rest of our lives. We may or may not be able to do that. That's just luck as to what happens to your body and all the other circumstances. But this is our home, and we have always been much more focused on the way of life we want to live as opposed to what we're doing. Like, we don't, if there was some reason to stop farming and do something different here, we would do that.
작은 농부들이 키워가는 그들만의 큰 행복이 이곳 숲속에 있습니다.